What's going on, y'all? This is Mike Brown, and I wanted to welcome y'all to this week's episode of The Art of Letting Go. While I got your attention, please be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast. Also, leave a comment, leave feedback, let other people know what you think. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you've been listening, I appreciate you. Also, new merch coming October 11th, my birthday. Got some really cool stuff that I want to share with y'all. So be on the lookout for that. And welcome to the show. Yo, what up? This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Today, I have a special guest in the building. We met, probably, I guess, around the time you first moved to LA at one of these West Hollywood bars. But Yep, you look familiar because I read an article about you. And it's funny, when I got to know you on like the comedy end, because I don't know if you were just stepping into it or where you were at with it, but I've been to a couple of your comedy shows, and we also connected about NERD. I have to put that out there too. Yes. To NERD, and we connected about that. But
Run to the Sun.
Yes. You mind introducing the people to yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Buttah Man. Buttah. Everyone calls me Buttah. And I just enjoying life in California. And when I saw the homie doing the podcast called The Art of Letting Go, because I know you before you got into the podcast, I was like, yo, this is just the title of Letting Go, because you have to let go of a lot of shit in order to survive whatever it is that you're doing. And so I was like, automatically with the title, you had me at The Art of Letting Go. And then when I saw your commitment to it and everything else, I was like, yo, let me get on this show with you. I know we've been going back and forth about it for a minute, but I'm trying to keep my integrity about myself.
I appreciate that.
And not let Hollywood change me.
Yeah.
So the thing I was like, when I saw you last, I was like, yo, bro, you been doing this shit. I admire your commitment. I got to be on this shit. I got to be. And I got to get on it before it gets really, really, really big. And then I'm going to be looking crazy when I hit you up for that guest spot. Because once the network picks it up and you're like, you're going to have to talk to Jesse in the booking department, because I'm busy right now. I don't handle that anymore. So I'm like, what?
That's funny. Nah, man.
I think we have a date for you in 2025. We can definitely squeeze you in there.
You know what? I hope to never be that. You know what I mean? Yes, I want to get to that level of being on a network and shit.
It'll happen. We're gonna speak it. We're gonna use the power of the manifestation out here on this beach to just speak that into existence.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate you picking this beach, because, you know, I do outside episodes and shit. So I appreciate you picking this beach to do an episode. But, man, how are you feeling today?
Well, here's the deal. There's a reason why I picked this beach. Because this is Hermosa Beach. And I feel like at some point we're going to have to, like, face the water so people can see the water behind us. But if you can see what I'm seeing right now, it is probably one of LA's most chill, non-touristy, just come out here on a vibe. And I came out here during the pandemic. I didn't really know this place existed. I just kind of looked at it and was like, And then one day I was just drawn to a particular area of the beach, and this is when the lockdown happened and all the beaches were really closed. You couldn't get on the beach like this, but there's a park over there that was close enough to it where you could see the water. And people had just gathered there, and everybody was social distancing. And for the first time, I went there and I sat and looked at the water, and I felt I wasn't surrounded by death and sadness and whatever I was dealing with back in town.
Yeah.
And then I just started coming out here during the pandemic to just have my Zen moments, and then this became my beach. So once I started getting into the community of it and just the chill vibe of it, because honestly, you could go out here doing in the thick of COVID while everybody was there, and you could see people just like enjoying the weather. It was sunny, and I'm just like, wait a minute, I'm in California. Why am I not near the water? Why am I not enjoying this? And so this became my place. So now I've done comedy shows out here.
That's dope.
This is where I go when on my days off, when I have a beach day, when I just need ocean therapy, because here's the thing, when you're fortunate enough to live in California, you do have access to this kind of stuff. Yeah. But we live in our daily lives, because when you become a native, you're not accessing this as much. So this became like, my spot. So this is why everything's just been magical today. The weather's been great. The water is great. Everybody's chilling around us. Like, this is my spot, because I'm spiritually connected to this beach. So I've nothing, like, shit just flows here.
Yeah, man. Something you said that kind of stood out to me was that you did a comedy show out here, and I was gonna ask you, like, how was comedy for you during the pandemic? Because I know
it was horrible.
Pre-pandemic, you were doing a lot of shows.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
it was horrible. It was just like everybody else. Just before COVID, you were just getting into your stride. You were just getting into your groove. Everything was going your way. Life was going to be great, and everything just stopped. And so I had just got to the point where I had did something that was a major accomplishment, which was I was doing shows in West Hollywood.
I remember at Rocco's, right?
At Rocco's.
Yep.
And that was a huge deal, because me and my partner, Mike Mizzle, shouts to Mike Mizzle, we were two black men doing a show at Rocco's, which is in West Hollywood, and a comedy show where it was, everybody queer, everybody, and to do that, we had two successful shows. We were getting ready for the third one in March, and that's when everything got shut down. And then all the clubs closed, everything closed. So as someone who's I love the live performing, it got really difficult, because we're a lot of creative people, I'm sure, that follow you, understand that when you can't do the thing that you love to do more than anything else, eventually it'll cause you to be unhappy. And I didn't understand that at first, because the pandemic was a distraction. But then I realized, wait a minute, why do I feel empty inside? Like, what's wrong? What's missing from my life? And it was that, you haven't been able to be on stage. You haven't been able to do the thing that makes you feel alive. And look, not to take anything away from TikTok or Zoom shows or any stuff that people have to do during the pandemic, but I just didn't translate to that. I like live. I understand. I can, I do IG. You find your medium in social media to get it out. Yeah. But I just wasn't a Zoom show. It's like Zoom for me as a comedian is like, I like porn, but I want to fuck. You know what I'm saying? Live performing is fucking for me.
That's
like,
real.
Like Zoom is real. Porn. Like Zoom, like doing stuff on video is like it's okay, but no, I need to perform. So
I appreciate you saying that, because like for me with like the podcast, the Zoom episodes, which don't get me wrong, I'm blessed to have experienced that medium, because that essentially is what popped me off. Because and not to say that I'm just popping in the streets.
You're popping, bro. Come on now.
But to be able to talk to people in other places, it opened that up for me. But the ability to connect with somebody in person, it just wasn't the same. And for me, it almost made it feel like work, as opposed to, like you said, like fucking.
Because you're at home and you're just in your house, and and you're on this show and your show, but then this person is over here, and then their kids are upstairs, and then they got to go in the room and come back, and it's just not the same as being able to compel people to listen to you and to look at you when you're doing live shit. And so So that's why I was coming out here all the time, and then I got, what, why don't you just do beach shows out here? And so I would come out here with my speaker, invite my homies, and we called them the Hermosa sessions.
Damn.
And so we just had these sessions where comics could come out, perform, and then it was like a beach party. And sometimes we would just come out, around 4 o'clock, start drinking, chilling, kicking. You can do your social distancing. It's outside. And then we start the show. I had a microphone set up, and then we just perform. And, I would go live on the gram with it. And so did a couple of those until eventually it got too cold. But that got me through it because it gave me an outlet to be able to say, you can do whatever you need to do anywhere. You just got to pick it up and be inspired to do it.
Of course, yeah.
So that was great. And then, you know, things open up and they shut back down, and things open up and they shut back down. But the realization of, I mean, I was so desperate for comedy. I was going to shows in COVID that were like in San Diego. Damn. I started doing stuff in San Diego because San Diego was a little bit less stricter than LA. And again, nothing was happening in Hollywood. Everything was closed. So I could go to San Diego at 11:30 at night and do an outdoor show in a park where people had tiki torches for lights.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, people are still coming out and doing these shows, and I'm getting to perform, and in a way that is really like, are you really about this life? Yeah. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to go? What are you willing to risk to do what it is you love to do? And so I learned that I don't give a fuck.
That's what's up.
And so I came out of it with a new energy, a new appreciation for the art form. I don't have any fear. I don't give a fuck. I just go on stage and perform now with a freedom and a energy that I've never had before in my performances now. So
yeah, I appreciate hearing that, because I think the same for me. Like, I think that's where I really found confidence, like in this whole pandemic ride of like, all right, either you gonna sink or swim with this shit, you know. And that's kind of what brought me here. But man, I kind of wanted to go back to just how did you get into comedy? Like, how did you
what happened was,
what inspired you to get into it?
What had happened was, the name Buttah, it comes from radio. I started as a radio personality. Remember radio? Remember that thing? Yes. So I was on radio. That's where the name came from. And people always said, you know what, you're very funny. You should go on stage. You're very funny.
Damn.
And after people say that to you enough, you kind of have to hear it. Like, this is God talking. This is the universe talking. People keep telling you should try. So I finally got enough courage to go to an open mic, and this is in Baltimore, where I was doing radio in Baltimore, and I sucked, but I liked it enough to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
And because I already, you know, as a radio personality or personality, hosting things teaches you how to be funny, how to do improv, how to be comfortable in front of people. So I already had that stuff down. I just needed to figure out jokes.
Yeah.
So I started working on my material and eventually going to more mics and more mics and more mics. Then I moved to New York. I had got a job at the time working for MTV, and I was an executive. So I had, you know, at the point where I was like, okay, I can go out at night and do some shows and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was doing comedy in New York, and I was like getting up in little places in Greenwich Village and doing stuff. And then I had a very bad experience one night where because they would make you bring people to shows. Like now back in the day, you had to know somebody to get on somebody's show. There wasn't we're going to sign up and like, he was like, we're going to put you on a show. Who are you? Are you going to bring people? So I could get people to come to shows.
Yeah.
And one night I got like about 10 to 15 of my friends to come to this show. And the person who was running it was like, you know, usually would be nobody there. The person who was running it was like, oh, wait, there's a bunch of people here tonight, y'all. So he started calling his comedy friends, and they started coming and performing and going out. Like, we were just walking in and going up. And by the time my friends are asking me, like, wait, what's going on with you? And so I didn't get to go up. Damn. Because he had to end the show, and I had all these people there. And so I go up to him afterwards to like say, like, dude, I brought all these people to the show and no one performed or whatever. And he screamed on me and said, I don't want another comedian in my face right now. And at the time, I'm thinking, okay, I'm an executive at MTV.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting screamed on by this dude who's probably a waiter in the daytime because no, there's a better way to do this. There is a better way to do this. So I decided at that point to take the other route. So I'm already inside of MTV.
Yeah.
And I'm already who I am. So I just kind of just did me. Like, it was just hang out with people, get my shit together, be personable, until somebody approached me and said, hey, you know what? We're doing this idea. We want to create a newsletter. It's going to be a video kind of vlog, and we want you to be the host of it. And I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And so they started using me to host this video vlog that was sent internally in MTV.
Yeah.
And that gave me the confidence to then come up with an idea for a show. And it became a game show called Hood Fab. And that was kind of what put me on the map. For those of you who may not know or remember, I hosted a game show on MTV for 3 years where basically I gave out tube socks and had hip-hop trivia, and we would have artists come on the show. And that all spanned from that incident where I was like, fuck this shit. Yeah. I know I have better resources to be able to do this shit. So then I got a show on MTV, and I'm just, and riding the wave. And so I was like, fuck comedy.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. Like, I don't need this shit. Like, I'm on TV, motherfucker. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
And, but I missed it. And when you miss something, your art, I couldn't watch stand-up comedy. I couldn't watch stand-up comedians because in my mind, it was like, why aren't you doing that?
Yeah.
Like if you're a singer and your dream is to sing, you can't watch other people sing because they remind you of what it is you're not doing. Or if you're whatever art it is you do, if you're not resolved in yourself and you still want to do it, you can't. I couldn't watch other people do stand-up. Yeah. Because it just kept reminding me. So then eventually I just got to the point where I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to start getting back on stage again. But this time, instead of doing it once a month, I'm gonna do it once a week. I'm gonna just keep doing it more and more and more and more and more. And then all of a sudden that became the thing. And then I started coming out here and doing shows. And then I decided at some point, it was like, okay, so are you willing enough to take a chance on yourself? And got laid off from at the point in time I was working at BET. I got laid off, and I got a nice severance. And I was like, you know what would happen if I just moved to LA with this severance money and this whatever and just did comedy every day? Like, that was my job. Yeah. And that's where we met. Yeah. Because at that point, I had just got laid off. Yeah. I had just moved to LA, and I was riding the severance wave. Yeah. That's real. And just going for it.
That's real. And just hearing like the beginning of your comedy journey to now hearing like what COVID did to you with comedy, like what keeps you going in that space? Like, what keeps you still doing it?
No, the funny thing was with COVID, and I think with COVID and just learning to, at the point where COVID hit, right, I had to go through a shit ton of disappointment because 2015, I moved to LA. I'm an executive at MTV. I have all these friends and contacts and all this other stuff, whatever. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to sail right into comedy. Everything's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. And within the first year, I realized that people weren't going to help you if you were not connected to be able to help them. Yeah. And so a lot of people who I thought were my friends, a lot of people I thought who was going to help me, a lot of people I thought I would have that support, were gone by the end of that year. Yeah. And it was some hurtful shit because, we're talking about artist people, producer people, a lot of people who, I thought were like, yo, we cool, right? And now it's like, wait a minute. Oh no, you're just on your own doing comedy. Like you're starting over. Like, there is no, it's like whatever you did in the past is done. Yeah. And so I had to realize that. Had to get over that, because understand something, that when you're entertainment and you do stuff for people, you can't expect anything in return because you will get your feelings hurt. But what you do need to do is understand that if you did something that got you to the point where you achieved success, and there are people that came along during that success that became cool with you because of that success, and then they leave you, you still don't need them because you can start that success over again and get to that point, and then what's going to happen is those same people will come right back and act like nothing ever happened, and you have to get to the point where you're so mentally strong that you don't punch anybody in the face. And see, this is why as much shit as motherfuckers give Drake, let me tell you why I fuck with Drake. You know why I fuck with Drake? Because Drake said, motherfuckers never loved us. Fuckers never loved us. Remember? Motherfucker. Remember? He's making that point. Remember? You don't, because people who fuck with you then stop fucking with you and then start fucking with you, they act like they don't remember it. And so started from scratch. Started over. Doing my shit. I give a fuck.
No,
I'm doing comedy.
Good.
I'm in comedy world now. I cannot look back at what was before. I have to go forward. So that was great. That time was great. I had a beautiful time. There are people who are still in my life. The people who remain though are like beasting. Like the real people who remain in my life are the 5 motherfuckers who still fuck with me in the music industry are so dope right now that it's great. That's all I need. I don't need. I will never be homeless. I will never not be able to have some shit because I have people in my life who love me enough to take. And what happens is when the group leaves, you have to super serve the people who appreciate you and understand that your blessing are those people. Because what happens is, with blessings is that we get so caught up in the I did this for you, but you didn't return the favor, so now I hate you, and I'm upset with you, and I'm mad at you, and I'm carrying all this bitterness and resentment because you didn't help me when I needed you, and not understand it. But the blessing is like the 5 other people around you right now who you're not appreciating because you're too busy focusing your energy on being mad at that person. And so the way I've been blessed for everything I've ever done for anybody. I've been extremely blessed, but I had to stop looking at this person and because I did these things for you. The person who will, this one thing I learned 5 years of struggling in LA to get myself in comedy is that it's never the people you really help who are going to help you in the end. It's going to be that one person that you did that favor for that you don't even remember, that will call you up and be like, yo, so I hear you're doing this, I got this happening. You need it because I never forgot that. Here's a check. It's like that. It's like that, and it's very magical because I always feel like, because you have those conversations with God, and I'm always like, okay, God, can we talk? Because I'm doing everything you told me to do, and okay, I might have been mad at you earlier, God. I might have said some things that I didn't mean. I might but we good now, right? Because I am doing everything you said to do, and what the fuck is going on? I know you got this right. Like, you have to really be, like faith and perseverance and all that stuff. At the end of the day, I've come to so many realizations and revelations that came from taking the risk to believe in yourself enough to say, fuck it, I'm gonna go out here and do this. So when COVID fucked it up, it really fucked it up for me because I really thought I was finally coming into my stride. And the disruption of COVID turned out to be something else because I wound up getting a job in the cannabis industry. And in order to survive LA, you need like 3 or 4 jobs. So in order to live in LA, you cannot have one source of income in this city. So you doing Uber, you waiting tables, you doing this, you working, you whatever. You got your OnlyFans page, whatever it is you're doing to to sustain yourself in this city, you need more than one job. So one of my jobs was I took a job delivering cannabis. I've always been curious about the industry. Of course, I partake. So I get this job, and it's just my part-time job because I've been blessed. I've been doing production work, producing live events. I've still actively working. I just never have been at full-time at a network, but I've been working for independent production companies, all that stuff, and just making a living out here, consulting, working with independent artist bands. Artists who remember me would be like, yo, can you help me with this? I'm making this video. I don't know what to do. Can you find me a director? Write a treatment for me. Do like, how can I get this on television? Is this even going to work? And all these artists who were like independent artists started coming to me for shit, and that's how I made my living, and I was able to sustain myself. But the cannabis job became crucial during the pandemic when it became an essential business.
Yeah.
And so now I'm sitting here like, wow, how blessed am I? Like, I'm working through this entire pandemic. I'm working and I'm delivering weed to people. I'm the weed man, delivering weed legally to people. And ladies and gentlemen, my delivery area. This is my delivery area. This is where I provide weed services to people. These are my patients back here. These people, the people who live in these houses back here. This is how I discovered this beach, delivering weed over here.
Wow.
And one day I was just like, this is beautiful. I need to come out here on my day off. So I just started coming out here on days off and just kicking it. And next thing you know, like, I just fell in love with Hermosa. Like, I love the neighborhood. The community is very chill. I know the lady who works at the corner store. Yeah. It's just, and I started bringing my friends out here because I think just for you, like, you look at this. Like,
it's a beautiful beach.
On a day where you could just be chilling and no shade, but I feel like I can leave something here and come back, and it'll be here when I come back. Like, these people are here today,
I agree with that.
And then they're going home. They're not going to be remaining on the beach for the next month.
Oh shit!
It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe.
I feel you.
But so this is full circle.
Yeah.
So now, it's now that things open back up, it's been my material. Everything is about how I survived the pandemic and delivering weed and the stories of coming to people's houses who've been on lockdown, and just seeing how I learned firsthand about marijuana as medication, and the different ways that people use it through working at a dispensary that's above board, that's legit, where you're getting your products and but you're getting the quality and the different ways that people use it, from just the edibles to the tinctures to the bombs that people put on their bodies for like arthritis and long-term pain management and all this, and getting to know all these different cannabis brands, and and finding things that are helping you deal with issues like anxiety. There's a gummy for that. Can't sleep, there's a gummy for that. Arthritis, pain, or athletic injuries, there's things for that you can take that use marijuana and cannabis that will keep you from getting on some fentanyl bullshit or whatever the fuck that's gonna fucking take you out.
Man, to be honest, because I have IBS, cannabis is the only thing that really truly helps with it. Like, I've been to the doctor has giving me pills that don't work, but smoking a joint sometimes is the only thing that will really settle me and kind of soothe my stomach. So and it's so crazy that it's seen as such a negative thing. But,
wait, so that's a real thing?
What?
IBS?
Oh, for sure.
I thought
no, for sure.
I thought that was some shit that they made up to sell drugs.
No, that's some real shit. I'd be fucked up for like a whole week.
Oh damn, bro!
Shit
You're like
bad.
the first person I've ever met that like has that, because that's wow.
Stress, dairy, and coffee.
You know your triggers. You gotta know your triggers,
Stress
people.
Is the biggest one.
Know your triggers. Trigger.
Yeah, yeah, man. So, it's been kind of wild navigating that, and also like being comfortable with like, hey, this is something that is medicine for me, and people could look at it how they want to look at it, but fuck you, because this helps me.
No, I mean, I can't. The thing is, I don't think I can go back to. I mean, I'm glad that the places like New York, places where I would consider, in California, are fully recreational now, and the thing is, you can fly with weed now.
Yeah,
it's so crazy the world we live in. You can take shit, put it in your carry-on bag up to an ounce, and fly with it.
The fucked up thing though is that they allow that shit, but you know, your character is still judged based on that. And I say that because, like, you know, I've never been too open about smoking weed just in general, like I do, but I'm not very open about it. But also, like, I'm a fucking teacher, and if motherfuckers find out, oh, he's a teacher, mind you, this is probably the first episode that I'm really truly like talking about smoking weed, but I don't give a fuck. But yeah, he's a teacher and he smokes weed. Should he be teaching? Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll be like, he smokes weed, whatever's gonna keep him from touching my kids.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, motherfuckers could be doing way worse shit to your kids.
Whatever's gonna keep it, like, the coach from doing that crazy shit.
Like, yeah. it's way more harmful people to your kids.
This is the thing and this is where, full circle, right? I'm so glad that you told me you're an educator, because in COVID, I think that teachers got a level of respect that they didn't have before from parents, because parents actually had to stay home with their badass fucking kids and understand that your child is a demon spawn, and now you stay home with him and you stay in the house with him, and that's why they're all like, oh, but back up to school. Oh, no, you stay home with your fucking Damien demon spawn for 3 months and see how you like it.
You know what's funny though? I feel like parents give the respect. I think people in general, like, I definitely feel respected as an educator, but I don't feel respected by the system. Like, I feel like teachers still do not get the pay they deserve.
Oh, hell no.
And I can only speak this way because before I'm a teacher, I'm an artist.
Right.
You know, so it's like I see it from a different perspective. Of like, I'm just here because this is a job. I'm not my
this
identity
is my
is
passion.
not tied into being a teacher.
No, I get you.
You know what I'm saying? And I see that shit, and I'm like, man, this shit is fucked up, because it's people that have, like, feel like they have to be here forever, you know, in education, and somebody like me is like, no, I'm not gonna settle for this shit. Like, this shit it's not cool. You know, people should not be having to fight for benefits and shit, especially during COVID.
No, I mean, and that's the thing, you know, I was the joke that one of my jokes I tell is that, you know, delivering weed, what I do in certain parts of this country, I'm a drug dealer.
Yeah.
But in LA, I'm a motherfucking essential worker.
Yeah.
And that is between, it's like, no, like, I kept kids from getting their ass beat. I saved marriages. I'm a healer out here. You know what I'm saying? And so that is how the interesting part about life is how, you know, you go from thinking, oh my God, all is lost, to being like, okay, wait, now I have a whole new life. Yeah. And I still have some connections to, you know, those days, but I've learned so much about moving forward. And I think with COVID was the reset for everybody. Yeah. COVID was a reset. It was a reveal, because a lot of people revealed themselves during COVID in ways that you were able to see, oh, I really don't need to be fucking with you. Okay, well, a whole entire pandemic came by, and if I haven't heard from you during a whole pandemic, for all I know, I could have been on a respirator, but you calling me right now because you need something? Okay, all right. So those kind of things that happened during the pandemic, there were pandemic marriages, pandemic divorces, there were all kinds of stuff that happened, and life is never going to be the same.
And I don't think it should be. Like, honestly, for me, I don't, like, as I keep growing, I don't ever want to go back to any level, any stage.
Right.
Like, one of my younger cousins, this dude is 23, and, like, I look at him sometimes and I'm just like, man, I'm glad I'm not 23 right now. Dude, but I've met so many much older people that anytime I'm at an age, they wish they were my age. And it's like, nah, I don't ever look back and say that.
I'm so grateful that during my 20s, I didn't have to go anywhere in a mask. I just can't go in to see the Roots in a mask. during fucking Philadelphia Half-Life period. I just so glad I never had to do. I mean,
That's funny.
I just can't imagine what it's like for. I mean, and this is why I have friends who criticize they're the young people. They going out and getting COVID. They doing this, blah, 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 and those people don't understand. When I was 19, I'd be right in the middle of the COVID party, right with them.
And that's the same thing I told people as well.
You put your 19-year-old, take your grown-up glasses off, and put your 19-year-old. I have been in the house. All my friends ain't doing shit. I thought they having, and you have the internet, and you have a way to get at people, and you don't have to use a phone. Like, what? Are you kidding me? I would be all in these COVID streets.
I understand. I really try not to be judgy of people. As I mature, I try not to my best, because I know for a fact if I was younger, if I was something else, I would probably be doing the same thing.
I would
this
be
is a different level of growth.
In it. I would be all up in it. I know exactly the type of my personality type. I'm so grateful for where I'm at in life, because if I had came up in the early 80s, I would be all the crack. Yeah, I'd have been doing all the like, I look at Snowfall and I'm like, wait a minute, that would totally be me. I would be all I would have been like, what? Yeah, I'll try it. It's some of us are very fortunate because of where we came up in in life. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. A lot. Snowfall was all of my. I got caught up on all my TV watching during COVID, so I'd never watched Snowfall when it was out. But in the pandemic, I watched all 3 seasons of that shit, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'd have been doing crack. I would have really been doing a lot of crack. Like, they seemed like they were having a good time, and I was where the good times were, and I was just like." It just, I would have been a raging crackhead. So I'm just grateful that I was a fucking 10-year-old locked down in the house. Mama not let me go nowhere. I was really grateful for that, because I would have definitely found. I mean, I don't think the Virgin Islands had crack like that, because where I grew up. But I just, whatever the fuck it is they was doing out at 18, 19, I would have been doing it. So. It just so happens when it was 40 ounces and 40 in a blunt. I was in the 40 in a blunt era, so it would have been 40 in crack. It might have been me, but no, I was 40 in a blunt, so that's why
That's funny, man. Man, what tools do you feel like you were coming out of the pandemic with?
Definitely survivor mode. Yeah, was definitely it for me. I think you survive these things by learning to look at the fact that there were too many compound issues for me to not get to the point where I was just like, let's just get through today. And we get to the night, and if at the end of the night I don't have COVID or I'm in the hospital, we had a good day. And every day was, because what's going to happen with the future of this, and what's going to happen, and what all of the worry of whatever was. So it was very much about a survivor mode, because you're cut off from people, you're cut off from. So I got into let's just deal with the everyday, one day at a time method of thinking. And another tool I got during COVID was I got a therapist.
That's dope.
It was February. Oh my God. I want to say it was February or March of 20. No, actually, no. It was April of 2020. I was like, I need to talk to somebody, because this is too much. Like, this is too much. Like, I can't. I'm cut off from my family. I'm cut off from my friends. I can't do what I came to love to do. I have all these issues that that preceded that. I need to talk to somebody. And so, because what happens is, I'll be real with you. When you are feeling like the world's about to end, you can get into a lot of self-destructive shit.
I can believe it.
You could get into a lot of stuff if you don't have a way to, because you think the world's about to end, so you don't give a fuck about nothing.
Yeah.
And at some point, like, I stopped giving a fuck about everything.
Damn.
And I was like, fuck COVID. And I had like the COVID lost period. And I was just like, I have to be able to come out of this.
Yeah.
And just not think that this is all there is.
Yeah.
And to prepare myself to get out of it. So therapy was a tool. The other tool was, I decided that I was going to just, because I had eaten so much and I've been in the house for so much, I was like, I need to get myself together.
Yeah.
So that I'm not coming out of COVID worse than I was going in it. And so the best decision I ever made was I signed up for a CrossFit class once I moved to Inglewood, and I started taking these classes. Started twice a week, 3 times a week, graduated to like 4 times a week. And that exercise in a combination with the mental therapy really helped to get me through it.
That's dope.
And it's over. It's not over, but these tools, the working out in combination with the therapy, has helped me to deal with things much better. Because last week, Friday, I had one of those Fridays where everything that could possibly go wrong. And then when you're trying to resolve things, you find out, oh wait, this has been due since when?
Yeah.
This bill is happening from this, and this is happening, and this, and so I deal with things much better now because of that. Because versus doing something self-destructive or whatever the fuck, or toxic, whatever, being around toxic people, I'm gonna get up in the morning, I'm gonna go do this workout, and then this workout is gonna lead me to this, and I'm gonna make sure that I keep my therapy appointment, because that when I talk to you about my problems but I'm not doing anything about it, then how am I going to change? I started working out because the therapist told me, she's like, every time you don't exercise, you're saying that you're okay with your body. You're okay with it. If you feel like you need to change your body, you want to be in better physical shape, and it's causing you to feel bad about yourself, and you're not doing anything about it, is an endorsement. And that's what
that's real.
She has me like this. Get my wig together. I'm like, okay, let me just get my wig together. Okay, thank you. Thank you. You got me? All right. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And the great thing about living in California, wherever you get the shit for free now.
Yeah,
a lot of places are just understanding that you need to talk to somebody about your issues. It has helped me because now I feel I have a place to discuss how I'm feeling, so I'm not always a person who's bringing my friends down, telling them all my problems all the time, and I can go out with my people to enjoy myself and have a better attitude, and not be the person who's always like, you're not gonna believe what he did now. You're not gonna believe what he did to me. I saw him on Instagram, and like, no, he left you 3 years ago. Why are you still talking about this nigga?
That's some real shit.
Why did you even follow him on Instagram? Why are you still y'all broke up 3 years ago. What are you? No, talk to somebody. Let that shit go.
Is this your first time in therapy?
Committed, yes.
Okay.
Like, I would have the session, and it was like Goldilocks.
Yeah.
This therapist is too judgy. This one talks too much.
Yeah.
This one doesn't. This one is too booked and busy. I can't get an appointment.
And I guess I'm asking that because just hearing what you're saying, especially in context of like, oh, this dude, this dude, that, so many people in our community get stuck on that. And I guess I would want to know, like, what advice would you give to somebody as far as like, because I realize like a lot of people either don't go to therapy or they just scared to go talk to somebody. So what advice would you give to somebody?
I think what happens, and this is just, we having our rainbow conversation.
Yeah.
We think we're too perfect, and we think that we have to, nothing's wrong with us. Everybody else is a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I've had people like, I don't, there's nothing wrong with me. Like, that's the problem. You don't think that you're not accepting your responsibility and what's going on.
You attract where you at.
And exactly. And so I've learned, well, the thing is, 2 things. I've been blessed with insight because I'm always have had people in my life who have been role models of what happens when you do something positive versus what you have. I have positive role models and negative role models. Your negative role models are the people you look at and go, I don't ever want to be like that. I don't ever want to be like that. Look at this person. Look at how they. I don't want to be that. So I'm gonna. And then your positive role models are people who are like, okay, wait a minute. I see you doing this. You do this. You surround yourself around these people. You do this. You don't let shit get to you. Like, how are you able to do that? How do you crack that code? And so the common factor I've learned is that if you can work on your mental health, then you can master. Okay. This is the things that I've mastered through therapy. I'm getting my master's degree in shutting the fuck up. I have a master's degree in shut the fuck up. There are times when I would emotionally react to things because of my feelings, because you know your feelings.
Of course.
Your feelings will have you by yourself. You'll be by yourself with your feelings if you learn. So I learned not to react emotionally and say shit, because I would say something that would then make me the asshole. And 5 minutes later find out, the reason why that person wasn't talking to you was because they were at their mother's funeral, or they were dealing with something that you didn't, because you didn't ask what was going on, you reacted. And so I've learned to shut the fuck up and not react to things. And that has helped me a lot, because I used to miss out on so many blessings because I could not shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And I feel you on like saying things. Like, for me, saying shit out loud has been a teacher for me, because it's like, if I say this shit out loud and it is true to me, I can only receive the full truth if I have an issue with you and I feel an issue with you and I express that to you, like, hey, I feel like something is going on, and like you said, you tell me, somebody passed away or whatever, I was going through my own shit, at least it gives me my truth that I need, as opposed to just dwelling on this false thought.
Yeah, and there are times when you do need to have the face to face.
Of course.
I just think that I was more the person who would assume something based on my feelings, based on my past fuck ups, based on whatever, and not deal with, okay, right now, these are feelings. Feelings are not facts. You have to chill out. Like, don't say shit. Like, keep your mouth shut. Like, wait till the appropriate time to have the conversation. But just because you're in your feelings don't mean you gonna call somebody and cuss them out and because this is it. And that was the stuff that you just make things worse. Yeah. And I've learned to not make things worse by just waiting a beat and just chilling out. And so that has gotten me really beneficial shit, because now I can look back on the year and say, oh wow, if I had said what I was feeling at the time, I would have lost that gig, or I wouldn't have got that booking, or I wouldn't have, I would have got that trip, or I got I've traveled this whole summer because of the fact that I've learned to shut the fuck up. And instead of calling people and saying you do this or that, instead I just kind of laid back, and people have just been like, all right, hey, this is happening, you want to come, versus you feeling some type of way because prime example, this is just real life. I went to Greece for my birthday. Wow. And last year I heard my friends were planning this trip to Greece. Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm a struggling comic. I don't really have it like that, but in my mind, in my feelings, because they did not invite me on this trip, I was in my feelings about it, and I wanted to call them up and cuss everybody out and be like, I'm your friend, I can't believe you did. And I shut the fuck up and just chilled. Yeah. And I talked to my therapist about it and found the right approach to when the time came, and I had the conversation and said, look, you guys are going to Greece. I wasn't included in the plans. I feel some type of way about it, but I'm okay. And you're blessed to, go there and have a good time. I'm going to figure out my own stuff, whatever, but I'm grown enough to say, I love you all. You're my friends for life, and I would never be like whatever, and that's cool. A month later, I get the phone call. You're coming with us.
Wow.
You're good, and you're coming with us.
Wow. That's really dope.
So shutting the fuck up got me to Greece.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just your approach, the way you view things, the way you see things, are so. I could not even tell you, like, if you're in California, whatever, if you get your mental health right, talk to somebody, get your shit, because it is so many layers of stuff, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, you know, and you will inspire when people see you. Wait, how are you able to handle all this disappointment and this shit and the struggle, and how are you able to just survive all this? Because, you know, I'm good. Like, I understand that this is temporary.
Yeah.
And I'm not going. I don't make permanent decisions based on temporary circumstances. For the most part, it's work. It takes a minute to get there, and you will fall off the wagon. You will have full kibbles. You will have your moments, but if you commit to the long term of, again, like my weapons in this are exercise and therapy, like the 1-2 combo. That's dope. I committed to this, and I feel better about. You know, I feel good. I have a community of people that I work out with, and there's fun. And then now I'm, you know, because the comedy tribe was all scattered all over the place because of the pandemic. A lot of people had to go home. People, you know, so I missed my comedy tribe, but I found the CrossFit tribe. I found an Inglewood tribe.
That's
I found
dope.
a whole, you know, and I found the water. I found this beach. And it's just been really about doing my best to enjoy every day that I have here, and just and as hippie, as fucked up as it sounds, it's way, way better than being mad at everybody, being mad at that person. And trust me, I've had so many people leave my life, and now to the point where I can be okay with it. Yeah, because the people who are in my life are so. I'm at the Comedy Store on the same stage in the same room that Dave Chappelle performed in 3 weeks before I got on stage, but I'm there. I'm in there. You know, I'm performing on shows with people who write for television and, you know, have written for the Oscars, and I'm in that realm. I didn't go anywhere. I just switched mediums. Yeah. So, if you're in music, you might not know who I am, but if you're in comedy, you know that there's this dude on the comedy scene, and his name is Buttah, and da-da-da. Yeah. And so, and he's got a, you know, and now when you see me perform, you will see that energy. You will see the survivor. You will see the beast. You will see the no fear. You will see all that shit. You'll see, like, this, who is this motherfucker? Because I'm definitely coming into mine. Yeah. And it took surviving the pandemic. It took finding that this is not going to fuck me up. I've gone too far for this shit. Yeah. And this is the thing when you in LA, when you feel like you're stuck, I say to myself, I didn't come to LA for this shit.
I say that shit.
I did not come here for this shit. I didn't come here for this. You're better than this. You did not sacrifice your relationships, time with your family. You did not for this. You are better than this. So get your fucking ass up and go to this class. Get on the phone. Like, just do what you need to do to be able to get yourself right. Because if you're not right here, and you're not going to be ready for whatever opportunities come your way, because you've given up. Because at some point, it's like when you get sucked into the negative shit, and, you know, whatever, it's LA, there's a Vice City like a motherfucker. Yeah. But you can get sucked into this shit and get lost in this shit. And if you don't find a way to untether yourself from the bullshit, you'd be like, my intentions 5 years ago. Like, I'm very grateful for the fact that you're one of the first people I ran into LA. We met each other. You the motherfuckers who you met me with, you notice they're not here. Yeah. And that's because you saw when you met me, I was coming in on the Buttah wave of MTV, TV. I was coming in with like none of them motherfuckers around no more.
Man, and so that's crazy you say that, and it's funny you say that, because I tell people all the time, like, when I met you, you were like one of the first people that took me to like a gay party in general, because I had never been to no shit like that, and it might have been your birthday party actually.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
and that was just a really dope experience for me. But it's so crazy to hear that like none of those people exist. But also, I'm not surprised because LA has a way of filtering.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's very much about the fact that, well, you know, factor in. There was a chapter where I had to leave LA to go home to deal with some family issues, and that was 2016 to 2017. I had like part of 2016 I had to go home and deal with, and I lived in the Virgin Islands, which is where I'm from, and I was helping my mom at the time, and I was only supposed to be there for a month, but something said stay here, stay with your mom, and it was a beautiful time. Like it was like I never got a chance to live in the Virgin Islands as an adult.
Yeah.
So I was home with my family, with my mom, helping her, and every day was just I became like this beach bum. I just paddleboarded every day and just chilled the fuck out and it was great. But then eventually I was like, I knew I had to get back to LA, and then I left. And then in 2017 there was a huge hurricane that blew our whole family house off the map. And I think to myself, in that time, what was fucking we mentally was like, man, you ain't not in LA, you're not living your dream, you here, da da da. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Are you really complaining about being stuck in the Virgin Islands?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Have you heard yourself?
Yeah.
If this is like the nigga, this is when you have to fucking yank yourself up. I'm in the motherfucking Virgin Islands. This is where I was born and raised. People may come here one time, buy a plate, hang that plate up in their shelf, and be like, that's that time we went to where you're from. And here you are every day. This is your worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's real.
And you're fucking complaining. This is like, oh my God, it didn't work out. Oh well, I guess I've got to go back to the Virgin Islands and be a failure and all of my failings.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, shut the fuck up. So that turned out to be, again, everything that you think is a negative experience, if you look at it as it had to happen. Yeah. This had to happen. It had to happen. I learned it just had to happen. So when I came back, of course, it's like the disruption. You start back. Now I'm starting over again. Yeah. So 2017, I'm starting over again. This time, there's no house to go back to. There's no Virgin Islands. You're just on your own. Amen. You ain't got shit. Like everything I gave was from my family. Yeah. So I'm now in LA with nothing. And you know what I'm saying? And all that, no connections, nobody, like just the people who fuck with you. And to be here 2021 and to be like, I'm still doing comedy. I have not stopped. I've never stopped doing what I came here to do, what I feel is my greater purpose. Yeah. And so that's just more like, like you get to that point where you're like, I'm extremely blessed. Yeah. I'm here and you're not going to fuck with me. I'm going to keep doing my shit. And that's it. And that's all you can do is be consistent and not let the distractions. Find a way to find peace, and this is why I'm here, because this is where I find my peace. There's too much beauty in this world where if you don't feel like you're getting it in your environment, go out and find it.
Yeah, man, for real. So I got two more questions for you.
Yes, sir.
First being, what is one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
Man. Stack paper. Yeah. Don't buy so many sneakers. Don't buy all that Ralph Lauren. Stack. Just stack. Like don't get caught up in the hype. Stack. I would definitely just stack.
I feel that. And what's a reminder that you would like to give to your future self?
Stack. Stack, because all habits die hard. But I've learned to, I've learned to definitely discipline myself a lot more when it comes to like just bullshit spending.
Yeah.
You know, but clothes was I was horrible with that shit. I spent so much shit on clothes, and then when I realized when I had to try to like get rid of them, what the value was, like, you know, of having someone. You ever try to sell your clothes? That's the most like, it's disrespectful as fuck.
And they give you like $6 for a pair of Levi jeans and shit.
That shit you spent $300 on, it's now worth $2. Like what? And then they look at you like. Look, we being real. I had to sell clothes. There was some shit. I had to go through some shit, and then the person looks at you and looks at your clothes like, we're not taking this. I'm like, you know what's funny though? What's this shit?
It depends on the person you get, because sometimes you can bring that same shit to another person in that place. I'm not gonna say the place name on here because they ain't sponsoring me.
But you know what though? We're not saying none of those places because I think they're a bunch of rude bitches. They need a PR reform because I would rather I will give it to fucking Salvation Army than deal with this bullshit.
I feel you.
Because shit, they were horrible to me. I was like, wait a minute, this is what this. Did you see me in this? If you saw me in this, you want to pay more. Yeah, man. So that's definitely. So now I don't do that at all, and it's great. LA is a great place. I'm me and Macklemore, thrift shop guys. We are just doing it up. We're in the thrift shop.
That's hilarious.
Hitting the Santee Alley. We hitting the motherfucking. The sample sales on downtown. I can tell you all about it. LA is a great place to look fly around a bunch of broke ass motherfuckers who have spent thousands of dollars to look shit, and you still feel bad about yourself. And this is why you have all that Gucci shit on, the Gucci belt, the Gucci shirt, the Gucci. The more of the one label you wear is the more you're telling people how bad you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
So let's move forward. That's my fashion advice. The more Gucci shit you have on your body, just wear the one thing, the belt. Just wear the shoe. But when I see you with the hat to the toe, I know you feel horrible about yourself. I know that the $5,000 you spent on that is why you haven't killed yourself. But your credit card bill is going to make you kill yourself.
That's hilarious.
So yeah. But suicide is not funny. But
no, it's not.
But you really need to not wear the whole Gucci closet, because the people who really wear that shit look at you like, this is why I don't make this brand for these people, because this is what.
That's hilarious.
That's real. It gets no realer. So yeah, that's for the gays, especially for the gays. Don't spend all your money on that shit to impress these broke bitches. They're all fucking broke. They're a bunch of broke bitches. Okay.
Words of advice from Buttah.
Just don't do it. Make it look expensive. Make it look expensive because you're that classy.
That's funny. Man, where can the people find you?
Bruh, I'm at All Things Buttah. All Things Buttah. You can find me on this beach on my days off. You can find me at Inglewood CrossFit. You can find me at delivering weed to a neighborhood near you. If you live in this area, I might have been to your house. We specialize. Let me stop. No, we do live in Inglewood too. But it is very dude, I'm blessed. All Things Buttah. I don't know when this is coming out, so I'm just gonna say All Things Buttah. That's where I post all my shows. That's where the IGs are at. IG's my medium of choice. That's it. I'm done. That's all I got. I got IG. That's it. I'm not snapping. I'm just this. I can handle that. I can do that. I can keep up with that. So All Things Buttah. But is that okay? Is there something perfect. New now? You're younger than me, man. So what's the new thing? Am I not?
I'm more just Instagram. You know, I don't really do the other ones. I've been using Twitter lately, but because I'm not in therapy no more, so it's like a good space for me to express myself. But
how are you not in therapy, bro? This is LA. It's free. They're free everywhere.
I need a break. I've been doing it for 8 years straight. Okay. So I just want to experience life with my tools, and it's been really dope to know, like, I have, and not to say that with therapy I don't have everything I need, but just to know like I am safe in my body.
That's good.
And I'm probably gonna get back in, but I just need to experience this for a little while. Like I've been out for like a month, and it's like shit been intense, but I have the tools to deal with that intensity now.
That's good, man. That's good. I feel like when you know you need to be back in,
of course, yeah,
back in.
Yeah. No, I don't play around. Like it's one of them things. It's like for me, it's like going to the doctor. It's like if I need to go to the doctor, I'm gonna go. Man, thank you, Buttah, for coming on this week's episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Share it with your folks. Let other people know what you think. Let me know what you think. Also, October 11th, my birthday. Got some new merch coming out. Also, you can subscribe to us on Patreon, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you really want to support the show financially, you know, I'm going to start giving out some exclusive content from the episodes and stuff. So be sure to tune in. Thank y'all. Peace.